Hello everyone, it's Kari from sunshineinmypocket.com, and today I have some fun projects to share with you. I'm going to make 3 cards today. We're going to use this red and green paper from Maker Forte and the heavyweight cardstock card fronts that I just showed you. And then we've got these beautiful sets. This one here is called Wrapped Christmas Sentiments. And look at that ribbon right there. You can make some beautiful present cards, which is what we're going to do today. This one is called Christmas Rose. This one's designed by Syberia. It's so beautiful. We're going to use that kind of as a bow for the presents. And then this little set here, which is one of my all-time favorites, it's called Holiday Sentiments. And this one is in collaboration with Hedgehog Hollow, and those holiday sentiments are just so beautiful. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by using the heavyweight card front and those 2 colored cardstocks, and we're going to use them with that ribbon. So I have my MISTI here, and I'm using the MISTI corners to kind of bring that up from the side so that I can have this ribbon go all the way off the cardstock. And if I had that lined up in the corner, it would be difficult to make that ribbon go off the edge. So this Creative Corners really helps with that. And all I'm going to do is use some heat embossing to create the ribbons. I'm using the Maker Forte clear ink pad here. I'm just going to ink that up. You saw that I used the embossing buddy bag so that I would get a nice clean impression. I have some white embossing powder. Now I'm just going to sprinkle that over the top and then heat set that. And actually, before I heat set that, I decided to also stamp the red paper as well. These cardstocks are also from Maker Forte. They're their brand new line, and I'll link below the colors that I'm using, but these are perfect for Christmas cards and holiday cards. They are the perfect shades of red and green, in my opinion, for these presents. So I'll heat emboss the red and the green at the same time. And while I have that set up in my MISTI, I'm also going to stamp the white heavyweight cardstock, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So as you can see, I do take my heat tool off the paper every so often. This is a lot to emboss, and I don't want to warp that paper, so I'll move the heat gun away from the paper, and I'll even turn it to the back to make sure that I'm not getting any warping. And that worked out pretty well. So here is the white paper. I'm going to add that in while I have this lined up right here. I'll clean off the ribbon, and now I wanted to do a really dark red. So I'm using this cranberry color, which is from Concord and Ninth. And I just wanted to warn you that most red inks do stain photopolymer stamps. I was hoping if I cleaned this off fast enough that I would save that stamp, but it did stain. I even used some of my stamp cleaner here to try to get that all clean before doing the other embossing, but it was too late. So if that bothers you, you might not want to use this dark red color, but I think it really is beautiful. So I was going to turn that stamp, but as you can see, it doesn't quite fit across the MISTI that direction. So instead I turned the cardstock and then moved the stamp over just a touch so that I got an overlapping ribbon. I'm going to put the bow right in the center there, which we're going to make out of a flower. And so this is going to work out really nicely to do it this way. So I'll stamp the red first, get that all cleaned up, and then I'll also stamp the white heat embossing on the other 2 papers. And there we have our presents, the beginning of our present cards anyway. So we've got the red, the green, and the white with the red ribbon. I think these are so pretty. So now I am going to stamp out the Christmas roses. I'm using amalgam ink today because I want to color them up with Copics, and this is my favorite Copic friendly ink right now. So I'm just going to stamp these up a couple of times and get a nice dark impression. And now I've chosen a few colors of green here. I've got YG17, YG13, and YG11. I'm starting with the darkest and just going over those leaf veins and a little bit on the bottom and where the shadows would be. And then I'm going to blend that out with the middle color, YG13, and I'll completely blend that out with the lightest YG11. So this is some really quick, fast, easy Copic coloring. I was interested in getting these colored up quickly because I'm making 3 cards and I just wanted them to look nice enough. So that's why I'm doing some easy, quick Copic coloring. So this is really fast. I think for all of these cards to put together, all 3 of them, it was less than an hour. And that includes choosing all the colors and coloring and stamping. Starting on the reds here, I've chosen 4 colors, R27, R17, R22, and R01. And I'm going to use these on a bunch of different flowers. I have made some lighter pink, and you'll see that in the end. I just wanted to show you how I usually color up my flowers. For these quick ones, I'm doing the darkest color, then blending that out with the medium, and then going over with the light, and then I go over them one more time with the dark color. I decided that that one I had chosen earlier wasn't enough contrast, so that's why I brought in the R22 here, and I'm just kind of figuring out what I'm liking as I start out on this coloring. So I'll just show you a couple of petals here, and it's just the same thing over and over. Just keep blending those out and then darkening up the darkest color. We're going to add some extra detail in a minute to all these flowers, so that's why it's okay that this is simple and easy Copic coloring today, because all the details in the end are going to add all the difference. So I'll show you this one last petal here. I was starting to get into my groove and I was really liking this red combo. It is going to look great with those other Christmas colors that we have. And that's why I chose these colors particularly, was for this. And you'll see in the end, the lightest pink one I just used the lightest 2 reds, the R22 and the R01. So I'll show you that in just a minute. Look how great these cards are coming together. You can see I colored up a couple smaller ones for this particular one with the red ribbon. And now I'm going to stamp on the sentiment that says, happiest of holidays. I'm stamping this in black, VersaFine Onyx black ink. It's a really crisp black ink, really great for sentiments. And I'm going to clear heat emboss that so that I don't smear it and that it stands out even more from the background. I will stamp it a couple of times to get a really great dark impression, and that's going to come together great. I'll glue the leaves on with some liquid adhesive and then pop up the flowers with some foam tape, and I do that on pretty much all of these ones to give it even more of a pop. For the 2 that we had heat embossed the white ribbon on, I'm using these small tags. These are from a tag set that I love from scrapbook.com. And these are going to be the perfect size for these presents. I'm going to stamp in green on this one, Merry and Bright, and that will be perfect for this size of tag. And then the other one I'm going to stamp on Hello Winter. So here's a look at how these cards are coming together. They're looking very cute, but now it's time for some details. I adore some details on cards, as you probably know if you've been watching my channel. For this tag, I'm going to go around the edge with that light pink, or dark pink actually, marker that matches the rose. And it didn't turn out as dark as I wanted it to, so I go over that a little bit later. For this Merry and Bright tag, I'm using my Versa marker here so that I can add some gold heat embossing all around the edges. That's going to give it more of a gold, Christmassy look. I love it. Some of my favorite details to add to cards at the end are a little gold, a little glitter, a little sparkle, and even a little dot work. And I think today I'm using all of those, all of my favorites. So I couldn't help it. These cards are just really fun. Here I'm adding the extra dark pink, and I'm being very, very careful because this is actually living on the edge. You can easily make a big mistake when you're doing this. I went very slow. I was very careful, and it ended up working out just fine. But I would suggest a ruler if you're not steady on your hands, or maybe even trying some glitter tape, something that already has a straight edge. But it worked out just fine for me, and so now it's time to put these cards together. I'm gluing on those tags, leaving the edges blank because you can see the edge of the tag there does go over the edge of the paper. So that's going to actually stick out from the end of the card. You're going to need a little larger envelope to send this one, but I do like a little bit of off the edge work as well. So that is going to be our green card. There we go. And now I'll go ahead and glue the red card up just the same, and adding the flower on with some foam tape to pop it up. So there is our red card as well. And that, look at all three of these. I'm going to bring the other one in here just to show you how they're all turning out. Now it's time for some more fun detail work. For this one here, the white one with the red ribbon, I'm going to add some white gel pen dots. Now it's hard to see in this video, but it really does add some extra pop to these flowers, to those stamens. I love the look. I'm going to show you a close-up here. There we go. There's all the white. Look how cute that looks. So for this green one, I'm going to try some Kaleidoscope powder and using that as paint. Now I heard that this alien color had a lot of glitter and mica in it, and so I wanted to try it out using it as kind of a watercolor. So I'm adding just a small spoonful to my craft mat here. I'm going to take my blender brush and add some water and mix that all together and paint that on my leaves and my flower. I at first did not add nearly enough water. You can see this is turning out very, very glittery. Now, that might be a little bit okay, but I like it to be a little more subtle. So I end up adding a little more water, removing some of that glitter, and then I got a really pretty, shiny, glittery look. So here I am just dabbing some of that up, and we're going to add even more detail, so it's going to look perfect in the end. But I do suggest adding a little more water to this Kaleidoscope powder if you want a subtle glitter glimmer look. I did love the look so much that I ended up adding it to these leaves and this pink flower on the red paper, and that turned out so beautiful. So that's the Kaleidoscope powder, adding a little shimmer. And now to this one, I'm going to add some black Nuvo drops. Now I'm not adding these to every single stamen because you can see they are pretty close together. So I'm just picking and choosing and adding a few little black dots. These are going to dry dimensional, which makes for a really fun card as well. And you can see I'm adding just a little here and there, a few extras, but that does add quite a bit of interest. And then to the center, some yellow stickles for the middle. On the green card, I'm adding some more subtle dots here. These ones pretty much match the flower, but they are shinier. These are the pearl drops. I'll link them below. I can't quite remember what these are, but they are similar in color, and so they're going to add some texture and just a little bit of pearl shimmer as well. So I love how this looks on the flower, just again adding just a few here and there so they don't all go together in one big clump. And then in the center I'll add some pearl colored dots for the center of the flower. So that's the detail on that one. The last thing to do is to add these to your card bases, and there you have 3 beautiful present cards. They only took an hour to make all 3 of these, or less than an hour actually, including the coloring. So I love that these were pretty quick to put together, and here you have a close-up look with some of that shimmer. You can see in the light how that Kaleidoscope powder looks as a shimmer. Really, really pretty. I hope you enjoyed these projects today. I know this was a longer video, but look at how beautiful these cards turned out. So much fun, a lot of fun products to play with from Maker Forte. I hope you'll take a look below at the descriptions and take a look at the blog as well for so much inspiration from the design team. I loved sharing these projects with you today. I hope you loved it as well. Give me a thumbs up if you did and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time with some more inspiration. Bye-bye.